Whoops. Looks like that was the wrong one. Looks like that was the wrong screen. Give me 1 second. Entire screen. I guess that's this one. Screen one. Screen one. There it is. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the S&P 500 Market Report, SPX Daily Plan, where we look at how the market's trading today and, more importantly, what might be coming up in the future. I'm Doc McGraw. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the founder of Options Gelt. And please click like, subscribe on Twitter, retweet, all that good stuff. And let's get started. And in the overnight session, as you can see, let's make this a little bigger so you can see a little better. In the overnight session, we bottomed out near 76. Let's just call it 76.75 round number. I like the round number reference points. Besides, the SPX option strikes are key to those 5-point numbers. I tend to round to those levels in my writing and in my thinking, since that's what I'm trading. Then we kind of snuck above 7,700 for like 3 seconds or a couple of minutes. And now we're just kind of chopping in this range, basically flat to yesterday's close, give or take a couple points. And so this is where we are. And we'll get to the kind of levels I see today somewhat. And then the more granular details, obviously, are in the premium subscriber area. And good morning. And quick review of yesterday. Let me just kill this noise so you can kind of see yesterday. So yesterday we pretty much opened near the high of the day, right just below 15. So that's the reference point for the top of the chop zone for today. We also have options positioning there. So there's confluence. There's confluence between the positioning and the TA, which is always good. And we kind of struggled near 7,700 for a good part of the morning. And then we just kind of kept trading above and below 7,700. That was a big question. Then at the end of the day, once again, we were trying to get the pin, and large positioning came in at the end of the day. Weaponized gamma, algos on parade. We see it every day. Sometimes we catch them perfectly. Sometimes they trick us in the last minute. 1,000, 2,000, like happened yesterday. 1,000, 2,000 contracts came in at. We were at 7,700 ish, and the 95s or 90s, 76 90s were like $1. And the algos bought 2,000 of them. And guess what? We got sucked right to them and below. I think the 95s were $1.25 at one point, like 5 minutes before the close. The algos aren't stupid. They bought it. I was already out of my trade, so I missed that one. Some people caught it, I guess. We do pinball every day in the Discord server. It's a lot of fun. I used to do it live on YouTube and Twitter. I haven't done it lately. Maybe I'll start doing that again. And so anyway, we closed pretty much near the bottom of the day yesterday. And like I said, in the overnight session, we bombed out right around 75. I have two different trading view strings I make for my subscribers. One just kind of main levels, and one a little more granular for scalping. I'll keep them both up. So that's where we are. Now let's cut to the daily plan so I can keep myself focused. Good morning, Chewy. Okay, so S&P 500 test 7,700, both on the way down yesterday and on the way back up today. So 7,700 round number. You don't need to have a PhD in economics or be on the quant desk at Citadel for 20 years to figure out that might matter. Uh, overnight upper 70s. We talk back, bounce back, heading into VIX settlement, and we're going to talk about that. Heading into VIX settlement, heading into FOMC minutes, which are probably a nothing burger, but when we get to talk briefly about the inflation setup, they might not be as much of a nothing burger as they should be. And we'll find out. Should is one of those words I don't like, but I said it, so there's nothing should. Things are. Should is not doesn't go into the equation. Overnight low, 77 is the pivot. 25-point chop zone. Straddle when I checked was 28.80. So if we kind of round it down, we get 70 and 30. If we round it up, we get 76.75 and 77.25. Nice round numbers. 1.5x. I like to look at that for premium selling and just for extreme moves. Okay, VIX settlement today. So, quick click instructional thing for those of you that aren't familiar with it. The VIX options, when you see the VIX options and the option chains, and the cash VIX we call it, those options settle into the VIX future. It doesn't make sense why they should, but they do. So the VIX that you see printed, that's the math of what customers are paying and paying for options 30 days out in time. Not exactly, but close enough for now, because I'm not going to teach a whole class on VIX. But then that's the print you see. The VIX options that are traded settle into something different. They settle into the VIX futures. And let me just show you something. I put it in the Discord for my premium subscribers. Not that. That's somebody else's work. That's actually very clever. I'm going to do something like that. So here's my server. Doc's commentary section. Here we go. Okay. So here's the VIX futures. Note, the VIX futures expired 1575, 80, whatever that is. That's, give or take a little bit, where the VIX is going to settle out. Victory lap, I said 15.5 to 16. I didn't think it would be quite this high, but 75 is kind of right where we expected it to be, especially yesterday. On Friday and over the weekend, I figured more like 15.5. I was wrong by 25 cents on the VIX settlement. I'm going to call that pretty good in all humility, because when I'm wrong, I'll say, fuck, I was wrong. That's a technical term. So yeah, that's what's going on. Also notice, and I don't have it here. Well, let me just go back to here for a second. Let's take a quick look at the VIX futures now. So now it's 17.9. See that? VIX Central. And so here's after the settlement. So we have a pretty wide between the 15.75, 16-ish. Here's a contango difference. That's pretty big, 9%. That's a pretty big, so this probably comes down a little bit, and VIX probably comes up a little bit. We know that July, August, the summer is typically the seasonal low pattern point for VIX. Doesn't mean it has to be, tends to be. September, October tends to be a little nasty. So that's just what the tendencies are. So I guess so I'd throw that in now while we're at it. Let's get back to where we were. So old VIX front month went out at 15.75, and the front month begins near 18. Inflation concerns. That's kind of what helped us crap the bed. Okay. Um, Today's inflation report, excuse me, Friday's inflation numbers and Monday, basically it's in the plan, but since I've kind of got the Discord, guess let me show you. Here's here's a 10-year treasury. There's a 2024 high, whatever, when they're hiking rates. But basically, that's a weekly chart. So the 10-year was up pretty close to as high as it's been in a few years. And it hit a 52-week high earlier this week. And the TLT and the 30-year did hit highs the other day, hit like multi-decade highs. So rates are high. That's a long-winded way of saying rates are high. But if I look at the, I mean, whoops, you're gonna get to see the sausage being made right now. Because this goes in my Discord server. If I see something that's worth mentioning, copy, paste, goes right in there. And we use Whisper Flow and we say, notice the 10-year has retreated in the pre-market. And there we go. Yes, it is. Your underlying is actually tied to those futures. That's correct. That is going to settle on those futures. It may be a bit of a crooked path, but that's where it's going to settle. And if we look at the term structure, October is 19.6. Selling the 20s, in theory, they're going to be worthless. The 16 is going to be $3 in the money. This costs pennies. I think this costs less than $1. So the idea is anything over 17, and I also have one that I did with the 15s. So that's the idea behind that. Okay, let's see. Over the night space, you're looking for follow through. Today, continue back to all-time highs. But I don't see the all-time highs by Friday, but it's possible. 77.50-ish is kind of my Friday pin area, or 75-ish if we crap the bed, somewhere in that range. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in more detail in a minute. Let me get back to this. I like answering questions. I could do like a live Q&A all day. Okay. VIX settlement. Here's the stuff about the 10-year and all that. Target lows, TJ Maxx, Estee Lauder beat. I'm not sure what happened with ADI this morning. FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock. So these inflation, consumer read-throughs, consumers are spending, they're not spending, all that nonsense. Lowe's did okay. I have faith in the American consumer. We like to spend money. We could be broke and complain about it, but we spend money anyway. Goddamn inflation. Okay. A buddy of mine, he's like retired on like a pretty narrow social security, does a little tree work, trimming on the side. Got $1,500 tickets to a Jack White concert. Goddamn inflation, but he's spending $1,500 for a concert. $600 to go see the Detroit Buffalo game. Okay, so yeah, complaining about inflation, living on a fixed wage, you're spending more like a month's rent on a goddamn concert. Okay, and that's the way we are. So consumers, okay. Um, so we're back to 7,700 and kind of, oh, look at that. Look at that. God bless America. Was that a Trump taco? That looks like a tweet. We didn't have any big numbers coming in. So anybody out there that's good at finding this shit, what happened?
That ruined my game plan for today.
What is it?
That ruined my game plan for today.
New game plan. Be like water. That's why we have all these different levels. You know, somebody somewhat derisively to screw with me on like a Facebook group that I go to from time to time. Um, Said, "Oh yeah, you know, if it goes up, it's going to go up. If it goes down, it's going to go down. Great." And I had to explain. I didn't have to. I chose to explain. Path is conditional. If we go to a certain level, the structure and the TA suggests something's going to happen. If we go to a different level, it suggests something else is going to happen. Just like we go into the day with a plan or with a bias, if one doesn't go into the day thinking conditionally path dependent, you know, it's easy to get, you know, caught under your skis. It's easy to get caught under your skis. Okay. So anyway, anybody know what happened there? I guess Trump's making a deal with Iran kind of bullshit, you know, I'm guessing. And those 3E mini futures I nibbled on, I don't got to swing a big bat like Bad Hombre or Vol Architect. Vol Architect is here. Holy shit.
Hi,
Dan's here
Paul.
too. Oh my God, I got the whole
Sorry.
gang here. The
Yeah, yeah,
ganze
yeah.
Mishpucha. Okay.
Wow, wow. It's Ball
Oh,
Architect here. Now I'm going to put myself on mute. I want to hear.
oh wow,
No, come on.
wow. Wow,
No,
this is
we
good.
were in a discussion with Paul, so I kept him a bit,
He
and
told me
then
to go long yesterday at the close.
I didn't tell him anything. He
No,
didn't tell me, so I didn't go long. But I was long
yeah.
2 days ago. Paul, you remember you didn't squeeze in. I don't know. Did you take the spider trade?
I took it. I took the trade cheaper, of course.
Yes, of course. And I always normally wait a day, but I was lazy, so I filled up more yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, I took the trade. So Vol Trader and Vol Architect, the Vol brothers, have been part of my band of merry men for years, and yeah, so I'm glad that Dan is here, Vol Architect. So anyway, I'm not sure what happened.
I
Oh, and now
found that Iran or Iraq got special treatment in the Strait from Iran. I think that's what it was.
I don't know that that's particularly great news, but whatever. U.S. Treasury announced increased size for nominal long end, current size 2 billion. I don't know that that would be considered good news, but I'm not a macro bro. But luckily, we have Vol Architect here whose device is not connected. If you don't follow him on Substack, you should, and wherever else he appears. He does a lot of good macro bro stuff that I just kind of read and take his word for it. Once in a while, I might say, really? And there's another guy. Oh, here he is. Okay. So, Vol Architect, perfect. So, we have this big pop. And it says U.S. Treasury announced increased size nominal long end. Does that account for that? I mean, you're the macro bro, not me. It just seems to me increasing size at the long end won't make the market happy. That's more supply, and we're already at at highs there. So, what's your read on that? You're muted.
Okay, let me take a read. Let me take a stab.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, what's the question here?
So, the question that's associated with that is, would that account for this? I'm just thinking, you know, if we go to a certain level, the structure and the TA suggests something's going to happen. If we go to a different level, it suggests something else is going to happen. Just like we go into the day with a plan or with a bias, more size on the long end with the 20-year and 30-year at multi-decade levels didn't make the market happy, more supply, but something made the market happy.
I will be honest. I agree with that, but
So
I
maybe
can
it was
give.
something else. Maybe it was something else then.
Yeah, I will be honest. I was so busy all day, and then I just called Bull Trader, and we spent a lot of time talking. So I haven't even looked at all my macro data. I'm still due to write my daily Substack. So
And if you can put a link to your daily Substack in,
yeah, I can do that. So I will, as you guys talk, I will take a swing at that. I will be honest. I haven't looked at anything in the market today. I just know some of my positions are up. I got some things on interactive brokers. I had problems with them with TOS. I think they did something with my account where I check a lot of the macro stuff. But give me 2 3 minutes. I will take a look and I will write something about that in the macro again. And I will. Should I share, Paul, Doc? Should I share the link from the Discord
yes,
or
yes, share the link, put it
the
in the
Discord?
comments, yeah, and
Yeah.
put it in
So
the Disco, put it everywhere. And
yeah. So
let me look at this shit. Something happened. This is
mm,
not the treasury. This looks like a taco. This smells like tacos. Smells like somebody's cooking tacos.
yeah.
Smells like
Okay.
somebody's cooking tacos, which
Mhm.
is very hard to predict, right? With the Treasury, we know that. I said this yesterday. We know that the Treasury Secretary is very sensitive to rates. When rates get funky, he pulls Trump aside and says, "Yo, bro, you can't do this." That's exactly what he says. I have a microphone, and Trump says, and I think the Treasury Secretary is one of the guys he actually listens to, because we know Trump is, the stock market is one of his metrics,
Yeah.
and he's a money guy. Whatever conspiracy theories you want to harbor, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really know. I don't really care, truthfully.
Mhm.
Um, but either way, uh, collaborative FOMC and Treasury. Okay, good. I like that. Let's have the hand in the glove work together.
So I can't
So
post anything here, but I will give it to you, and you can post that stuff. So
okay, you can post it in the okay. You
I
should
can't
be
post in
able.
the chat. I tried it; it's prohibited,
Okay,
so it's okay.
okay.
No
Oh, you put
worries.
it in the comment section somewhere, I think.
Yeah, put it, but
Okay.
it's prohibited by some.
Oh, excuse me.
No worries. It's okay.
I'm teasing. Okay, so let's get back to where we were, and we can take this plan and put it in the shredder. No, actually, I have a higher part of the plan too, just in case. All right, so here's all that treasury stuff. Keysight Technologies traded lower. It's a name I've been in and out of, and luckily I'm still in it. I've been in and out of it since the 90s, 100. I think the current tranche is 130 something. It's 170 now. It's a semiconductor equipment testing software, kind of like a niche. So they had great earnings, but they were lower in the post market because the market was in a nasty mood. I think it's up in the pre market. Bank tech spending, Toll Brothers was flat. Um, so we have Vixbury coming in. Not sure where 15.5 to 15.75. So we have consumer housing discretionary lead with ADI. Thursday we have jobless claim stuff and Walmart deer. I own a little deer. I own some Walmart. Baba, I own some. I'm not sure what to do with that. And then next week, in case this wasn't enough for you, with Vixbury today, on with options expiration on Friday. Next week we have Jackson Hole, Nvidia earnings, PCE, and end of month OPEX, with the options market pricing in 15.5 to 16 vol. Look at the VIX 9-day. I'll tell you what it's pricing in. It's pricing in a 13, 14 vol. So straddle cheap. I don't know. Um, Okay, so we kind of went through this before, the straddle lineup. So today's working chop zone, and we're already out of the working chop zone. Doesn't mean we can't come back inside of it. So here's a little bit about this VIX settlement. I already talked about this. The front month is going out at around 77.5. The new front is 18. So that's our reference. That's what we settle into in September. I expect the 18th to come down, the VIX to come up, and some to meet somewhere in the middle. 17.5-ish. September sounds as good a guesstimate as any. I already have a trade on reflecting that. So two-sided charm path, and that's changed a lot. So let's go to the videotape here. And obviously that's changed. Okay, and for some reason I have to hit Shift F5. And don't laugh, I learned this trick recently. Apparently that refreshes your screen. Okay. So right now we're around here, 25. So just as a quick reminder, and I know Val likes to see the more nuance. Okay, so quick reminder where we are. We're at 25. So this is positive gamma here. What that means is market makers are long, hence positive. They own it. Customers are short. So people sold 25 calls. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Might not have been. And so market makers hedge against the direction of the move on the way up. So they sell. But now that we're over it, then as we go down, they buy. And you get caught in these little boxes, these little hedging boxes. And so I like to see it this way because I just want to see where the boxes are. So 25.
Oh my God, I'm seeing Dan.
Yes, you just noticed.
Wow.
Over 25, between 25 and 50, we're framed by two positive gamma nodes. So bounce between them with a resolution right around 35 for now. I expect customers to come in and start buying calls up here and eating away at some of this shit. Technical term again. 25 to 7,000, another chop zone, bounce zone. And then below here, we have sold puts at 65 and 45, and we have the big ones down here. And some of this is partially rolls from the 100 wide gang, which we talked about in the room. I think that's pretty much it. Since we have a star-studded cast today, I'm going to turn the mic over to Chewy.
All right, guys. Good morning, Dan. Good to see you. Let's get my chart on the screen. Okay, so when I wrote out my plan, we were at my pivot. I was waiting for a nice trade at open up to my ceiling. Of course, that's gone. VIX expiration in the morning. To me, what that's going to do is have me play both sides. Not really locked in on a bias at all, especially now. But
very good point. Very good point. People make note of that.
I'm not going to be playing a hero, especially.
Can you repeat the important point?
That the settlement happening in the morning is going to have me playing defense, both sides. I'm not really married to a bias. I did want longs to my ceiling, but obviously that trade's gone. Happened without us.
The settlement being the VIX, you mean?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And we also have OPEX on Friday, so I think nodes are just kind of all over the place, and I don't really like to size heavy on the weeks like today or weeks like this week. And I am looking for some downside. I think if you look at my chart, I had a lot of resistance. We've pierced through all of them today or this morning based on news. I'm still going to hold true to that and see if we can get a reject. The kind of the line in the sand for me is 77.56, which we just rejected. That's below that. I'm still going to be bearish. Like I said, I'm not holding shorts or anything crazy. But that's kind of the line in the sand. 77.56. I'd write that down.
Okay. What?
Doc?
That's it?
That's my plan. Yeah.
Wow, that's too simple. Why can't you make it like 6,000 characters like I do?
Where is the Vol architect? Why is it not shown?
He's right here. He's here. He's here. Let me.
Okay.
I'll show you the whole rogues gallery. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't see the left portion. Okay.
Whole team on call. This is epic. I feel good. I'm really happy to have everybody here hanging out. This is what hang out in the Discord. Come on, come join, subscribe, and bullshit with us. So here's where we are. Vol trade. You want to go next, or do you want to have Dan speak? Because it's rare that we have Dan here.
If Dan wants to go.
Like I said, I just came to announce that why you are late and to say hi, because I dropped out because most people were they don't trade what I trade, and they might read my macro piece, and I will be writing that down soon. And
Maybe next time you made a great piece about those credit spreads. And
I was going to add to that.
All the ratio of the theta to gamma and all that concept, which everybody that is listening here actually is affected by. And I assume that some, if not most, are not really aware about all the ins and outs that you went into details in that paper that I read from you. So
And let me add that Dan is very humble, but he knows his shit, and he does really good stuff. He puts the trades in the Discord, or we just kind of do trade ideas amongst ourselves. He does a lot of good VRP kind of trades, earning trades, cute little calendars, all kinds of stuff, and he understands his Greeks, and so a man worth listening to and following.
That's a lot of praise, which I have to.
And I mean, the guy wears a suit. The guy wears a suit to Discord.
My suits are over there. This is just like my.
That's his.
Where's my coffee? This is where's my coffee stuff, and I have my security badge. The coffee's already ran out. No, I, like today, I had a very slow start because I was busy with other stuff.
He has a real day job. Dan has a real day job.
I have more than one job, and I have I manage a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we do a deep dive into what is my X handle?
Yeah, your Twitter.
The Twitter. My Twitter is basically dead. Is following Z.
Look at what Z does. That's
I would be very honest. No, I have a Twitter. I sometimes tweet things there, but I can share that too. It's nothing special.
His Substack, and he's on our Discord, William. So I'll just make sure everybody knows that he's there. He's one of the best kept secrets in.
I just started the Discord because this was something I was doing for my own, and I was sharing with friends. Like I share a lot of stuff, and well, my father is he's very good in economics, so we've been talking since I'm young about that stuff. So he was one of my first subscribers on Substack, so he can just poke holes in my theories. Because I have no background in that. I have a background in law and all that stuff. And but we should do the spread thing, if you like, the hedge ratio. No one is talking about the hedge ratio. We should talk about how you can build a very simple premium selling portfolio, taking advantage of correlation metrics and other stuff.
Can we do that in 5 minutes, or are we going to do a special on that?
We should do a special on that.
Okay.
People should understand that, what they need, where they should look, because you offer a service, but you don't offer everything around. So we need to show people where they can get data for free, because not everyone should be coughing up money. And you will be surprised that maybe we will even have bar chart live one day, because Wall Trader and I were stalking through bar chart, which I only renewed because I was sending stuff to Wall Trader to prove something on the expected move, which was very interesting. And I would this would be a topic I would really feel would help everyone here, that we talk about the importance of the expected move. We talk about gamma levels all the time. We talk about the ratios and all that stuff, but luckily you have taken this into your daily plan, into the involvement of the daily plan. But we should also talk what is the expected move. And like you had this nice piece a couple of days back, everyone should read that, how you offer through the whole day commentary, and the learning starts basically before and after the session. So, and one of the core things is like, what is the expected move and what it has to do with volatility. We should explain maybe why it's important, at least for, if you zero DT trade, why is it important to know what the week is planned in expected
Hmm.
move, and then vol you can sit on that and explain to people how you tried to do it with me, why the expected move we will find by just taking the straddle
And look at this. Here's the weekly expected move.
might not be.
I modified a little bit with Doc's secret sauce, but
Yeah.
there's my weekly expected move. I keep it here all the time.
Yeah, I will. We will have to look at mine. I can't show you mine because I can't log into my TOS for the last 2 days, so I have to call the international line. But it's important to have that, because if you know what the expected move is, then you can build trades around that. You can have expectancies there, and yes, there's a rolling move there, but I think it's a concept. If you understand that, then you can easily go into longer dated trading trades. And if you follow all these trades we share from Z, and he shares only partly his trades, you will see most of his trades are 30 days and plus.
And
And if,
check this out. Check this
yeah,
out. Along with what Dan's saying about the expected move. And Vol Signals pointed this out. I actually, one or two other people noticed it. I forgot to notice it. The expected move, July OPEX was, guess what? 248.
yeah,
Guess where that puts us? 77.48.
yeah.
So all this craziness above, below, sideways, and where do we end up? At the fucking expected move, pardon my French. So, there's a bit more to this than it looks like. I mean, of course, not always, but there's a lot to this.
Yeah, and we can talk about a lot of things there. Like, for example, we talk about lottos and about other stuff,
Right.
but if you look at heat maps and all that kind of stuff, and you look at the involvement of the market, and what I like, for example, like you explain all the paths, Paul and Doc, and how Ball Trader always emphasizes, give me a direction. Is it a long or a short day? So if, like you said, it's a long day. So basically, if you don't have a lot of money, you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you know the path because Doc gave you the path. You get the direction from Bull Trader. Basically, you can set up cheapish flies there, and which will pay like huge risk in return.
And even if your fly doesn't hit, land in the middle, it's
Yeah,
pretty easy to, let's just say, I'll make up a number, to buy a fly for $1.25 and sell it for $1.70.
yeah,
In
and
the
this,
path of the day, so you can get 40, 30, 20, 30, 40% on a fly easy. You buy 5 or 10 of them if you feel like it, or one if you just want a little candy on the side.
Mhm.
I love doing that.
Yeah, and the thing is, we can talk about EPTs and how to set up things. So we can explain the math behind that, because if you have the right math behind that, then you can calculate. These are low probability strategies, which have still, they don't hit all the time. But if they hit, like you need only 2 out of 10. And then you are in big profit. So it's simple math. So these are things we can do with the expected move. And I'm not talking about the simple things like selling strangles and all that stuff. And but this is something we can and should do, because it would enhance even the zero DT traders to pay attention to some of the dynamics there.
Okay.
With the
Okay. So
horizontal
the trading
levels.
view with that's my secret sauce. So it's called Doc's reaction level, and paid subscribers get that. And every morning I generate this kind of by hand. It's not like it doesn't take data from somewhere and put it there. I write my daily plan. I see where the levels are. I say what I think the reaction is going to be. And I turn it into a trading view string, and it's updated daily. So that's what that is.
Hmm.
So it's called Doc's reaction. It's an invite only.
Yeah.
And the fact that I even can have one, that's a miracle because I can't code. I can't even type. So that's besides the point. Go ahead, Val. You got something for us?
Yeah, yeah. First of all, one of the mics are open and there's a lot of noise. But just to not to get lost with the Vol Architect, I think that it would be great if you link that credit spread, credit spreads, that piece that you did on credit spreads, where you go through the ratios and everything. Now, Dan, Vol Architect, is mostly into single stocks and earnings events, but it doesn't matter because the educational aspect is relevant to anyone that does credit spreads or any type of short gamma element with or without hedging or whatever. So, from an educational perspective, I found that article very interesting. And it will be great if you will link that specific article in your X. You guys said you told the people what your X is, so people can read it in advance because to follow you in real time without reading that would be a bit challenging. Was challenging, for me, but I'm challenged. Anyways, let's go
And
into.
there's Dan's Substack right there. Look on the screen, everybody. I put in the chat. Okay, go ahead, Val.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen here.
1 second. At the stage. There we go. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
so as you know, I like to start early. That's why I fall asleep in the middle of trading. But I was already pretty bullish from yesterday, and the reason being is I have my own stuff. So among other, I have a Sierra chart connected to all types of stuff. So this is what I was seeing yesterday during the session. The yellow shaded portion is August 18, as you can see at the bottom of the chart. This was the RTH. So the NDX was continuously every single 30 minutes telling me that Trump is buying. So I was seeing that building and building and building, and the confidence of the signal was also very high. The confidence is this cyan pink indicator at the bottom. The more negative it goes, the more confidence it is. So it was pretty negative relative to the black line, which is zero. So my bias was already fixed there. And coming in early today, so today started 3 a.m. Chicago. This is 4 a.m. Eastern. And and I wrote to myself out of the gate, I still see NDX 45 to 2945 200 being key support level where passive buyers are working. So as shown as the chart from yesterday, and I extrapolated going through the data that today I'm going long over the Globex pretty early. I bought it 29,450, and this is my target. So this was done very early today, right? You can see that this is like I don't know, early, and we just hit that target 29,700. So this was a nice trade. And the reason for that is, first of all, what I saw here. Now, these are not auto trades, so this is not, it's not like if you get a green arrow, I click and buy. No, this is telling me the story in the background because the way they operate. So I'll just read this portion. So these are not timely signals, meaning they follow processes rather than auto trade, but they follow what size traders, large trading entities, do above some threshold in terms that if this algorithm determines that the total activity over the whole index complex, meaning, let's say we're talking about the SPX, so SPX by Voodoo from Vanguard, whatever, all those elements that I follow within that complex, not the constituents, and I follow the options. So the system crunches the data in a way that tries to find a tilt, right? I'm always oriented to the direction of my speculating activity. So it was very bullish, like very delta long oriented, whether selling puts or buying calls. What I did with Dan today early was using a bar chart, which was available to us, and looking through the aggressor activity in the various options. And we did see that most of the activity was put selling, call buying. Anyways, now I don't know if this goes to all-time high, of course, but what I wrote here at 4 a.m. was that I'm sure that the first tilt will be higher before the next leg will be clearly during the session. So I inferred from all that, plus all the Excels that I share with you, that we're just going up 300 points or so. And on the NQ, it's like $2,000 for 100 points. So it seems like a nice swing. Then I looked at this. This is the vanilla open interest analysis that I do. I do this because Doc, anyways, goes into the weeds of the actual market making positions. And what was clear that if you look at this portion, which is the expectations derived from the options, meaning what does the market expect, right? You can see that while we closed QQQ 717, there is much more room to the upside versus the compression of the left wing. So this also supported a long tilt, right? I never know where the market will reach. Will it reach 29,700 and go another 1,000? I don't know. All I want to ask myself and answer myself at any given point, if I have to be in a position, am I long future, short future? Now I can decorate that with various option strategies around that, but my core position for the day is always either long or short. So 4 a.m. Eastern just went long. Now, where do I think the first significant hurdle will come in? So I try to infer that through this blue line on the chart, right, which resembles what I think the edging constraints will be, and where sentiment changes from mostly put dominated, these purple bars on the bottom, to call dominated, these green bars at the top. So you can clearly see that starting 721 or so, things get more and more call sided. The blue line is able to sustain above the zero. So I would determine that to be like your transition level. But the gamma curves on the Qs are a bit more accurate, and you can see that actually two of the models cross on average around 723 or so, which was similar to yesterday. So that level is significant because the gamma curve, even though all the like you got fresh data, right? Everything changed, but the gamma zero level didn't change. So that makes it significant. A rough estimation for anyone interested, you want to convert Qs to NDX. You just multiply by 41.05. You get a close estimation. You will also be able to observe that if you just look at TradingView. You're looking at the NDX from a provider called SpreadX, and you divide that number that you're seeing in front of you by the QQQ during the session. You'll see it comes out around that number, 41.05. Now, so that was the Qs, and like yesterday, I think the Qs are the influential element in the market, not the SPX. Yesterday we had that early on bad news about China models that are able to do 2,000 trillion whatever tokens per second on a fucking laptop with 8 giga of RAM, which means that Nvidia is worth $1. So obviously very bad, and that's why the market went down. But today, there's a lot of chatter about how the administration will even go more aggressive against outlawing and totally the Chinese AI. And sorry, going up, and or whatever reason you want to believe. I don't really follow the news in real time. Now, so this was pre-market. These are my levels for today. Expected moves to the upside. The higher odds would be 77.45, which is also the upper section of transition where the gamma curves for the SPX cross, give or take. So I have that level up there. I have transition is where the sentiment really changes. What we saw in the gamma between 735 and 745. So that will be your pre-market hurdle. Also at the open, you'll feel those sellers coming in there, maybe up to 56, like Chewy said. The upper section expected move 7765. So important to remember the reason I follow expected moves. I think others should also in that sense. If you calculate correctly the 0DT or whatever short-term complex of DTs, if you correctly
I'm, I'm
derive.
going to jump in for 1 second because the levels are very important. I just want to show people what happened in the pre-market. So while we were talking, the 7750s that customers were short, that market makers were long, went from whatever it was, 1,800 contracts to 777.50. Now, we don't know if the people that sold and bought it back or if speculators like you and me or anybody else was buying them. Either way, that ceiling is kind of off somewhat. So this is real-time data kind of confirming what what Vol Trader was saying. Real-time data is showing that the options market is betting with their dollars and cents. And here, this got a little longer. So people are getting a little more long here, right between that zone. I guess so I point that out. I'm sorry, just wanted to, because I was going, otherwise I would forget.
Okay, yeah, I was about to go into my expectations about call covering, and I'll get there in a second. So these are the expected moves, and there are several significant levels also there, which I follow if I think they are significant. For example, the lows from August 6, which supported the market here on August 6, where the left purple arrow is. Yesterday we got that support, but we broke it. Now, I also have, and I explained it yesterday, I basically have three brackets of time over the from midnight to till the RTH. So I also have the expected move of the Globex portion. And as you can see, these were updated around the time I mentioned, which was 4 Eastern or something. So this is pretty much where I put them, and it did support following that data update. This was supportive, the 7690 from that time going forward, and the upper section comes at 7720. The Globex portion is up until say 7:30 Eastern or so, or maybe before, and after that it doesn't really matter. But during the Globex, I don't have anything else other than these sections to trade against. And also, I've been following since early in the month, like August 10, August 11, we had that 7725, which I saw different stuff there back on August 11. So I have that on the chart also. And these were hurdles to the upside, but the main hurdle being the transition, pre-market, and the expected move up one, which are always there during the pre-market, and we'll see how this. Now we follow expected moves because either price rejects from them, meaning the market says no go, or the market goes through them, settles, starts going sideways, getting accepted. That is when you will see those call being closed, right? They don't do it in a rush, and that becomes supportive level to the next expected move. Both sides. Now, why did I mention the expected move element here on my skew model? Hard to see, but you need to believe me that the right right tail, the call section, has a more positive slope to it than the left tail. you can see it here. This has a more shallow slope rising, and this has a more aggressive slope rising. And this came out, again, this came out around 5 a.m. Eastern time. So I was expecting that. Together with my bullishness, I said, okay, they are already a bit uncomfortable with that section. And if the market jumps, they will come in cover calls and they will just feed more of upside fuel until the open. Now, we do need to recall that until 7750, we do have some put analysis over the skew that is negative. So these will be rejected levels, right? But once we cross and accept above 7750, market can surprise to a further squeeze to the upside. And we can also see it here. So this section of the band's pretty compressed, right? And people say, okay, up to here, we see it, but above that, we want to see real buyers. So up to here is like free upside, and above that, the bands expand, and this is where the real buyers need to step in. Otherwise, we're unable to push those 50, 55 levels. We'll reject it eventually. That's about it.
Okay. So what I was doing at the tail end here, hold on. Full transparency, I was looking here at Zim's earnings, my boy Z. So I just added to some Zim in the pre-market.
He's
So
still
long,
trading that Zim thing. I mean,
yeah, I've been in and out of it a few times. Yeah, we've been back in Zim since around 22 and a half this time. He thinks they're lowballing expectations. He says that they've got $33 in cash. He says it's not a get rich quick scheme. You'll be getting large. Yeah, it gives nice chunky dividends, and so
Earnings. Don't forget
yeah,
the earnings. They are today.
yeah.
Or they
Here,
oh, Doc,
yeah,
here's
Doc,
here's
one
his
thing.
earnings.
today I think.
Here's his earnings announcement. They
Yeah,
beat, but they were light of his expectation.
yeah.
But
Doc, let's follow up on the weekly, on the monthly August 21 red green
okay,
thing.
yes, let's do that, and
So we
you
want to
can
see
read Z on your
yesterday.
own, everybody.
Yesterday
Okay,
we saw that they were less bullish yesterday. So let's see how they are positioned again today.
okay, let's take a look real
Also,
quick.
one more thing as you load things up. Yesterday I noticed huge amounts of put position being closed on the NQ and on the NDX and on the SPX. Like really a lot of puts being closed as the market didn't really realize that VIX 16. And as Doc said, the 16 was impenetrable, and the expiration of the VIX is going to be dropped lower.
Okay, let me get this up here. Okay, so here's the AM.
Can you put it from the customer perspective?
Sure.
In this case, the institutions are more interesting, right?
Yeah, this is where the institutions are. Yeah.
Yeah, so they are mainly, yeah, from there, they're more bullish than not. So they have that skeptic level. They say, okay, from here, we're willing to be net long. Until then, less so. What is that level that you just showed highlighted?
This one here, 77.35,
So
77.
35 and above, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't seem to get.
More than that?
I mean, let's just make it wider. They changed the platform, and truthfully, some things don't work great, and I've been complaining to them. I can't get it to go higher, even though I'm making it higher.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Let's see if this will work. Shift F5. There we go.
Can
There we
you fix
go.
the
There we go.
microphone, please?
There we go. There we go. Let me
This
zoom
is
in.
customers?
Yeah, those are customers.
Yeah. So they're not, well, they are long, but yeah, from 50 they become much more so. and from that 35 they start their long tilt. So yeah, so above 50 we can have some more continuation into Friday
Good luck,
if
everybody.
we
Okay.
are accepted there.
All right. Time to go make the donuts. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Hope
you.
you,
Goodbye.
hope you all enjoyed this. I did. And what you hear are trades closing, which is beautiful. Okay. See you all tomorrow.